impenetrable, veiled from mortal sense, the inner chambers of the spirit soul disclose to her their happenings, and they give her Savitri. Their happenings and their gifts. Eyes look through crevices in the invisible wall. So there are walls, there are small gaps there, so that they are seeing. And to the secrecy of the unseen doors, there came into mind's little frontal room thoughts that enlarge our limited human brain. So that is the purpose they want to come out. They put on the official mask, cap, this thing, that thing, etc., etc., to enlarge our human range. Lifted the ideal's half quenched or sinking torch, or peer to the finite at the infinite. Now, with this, what happens now? Thoughts are coming. Our senses assume a different significance when they are coming out, you see. Sight opened upon the invisible. So it is not the normal sight with which you are seeing now. The sight opens to the invisible. Senses receive that mortal eyes see not. This is what happens. It has opened, the sight has opened to shapes which the mortal, the ordinary man cannot see at all. See. Means in a certain sense, not really exactly like that, but in a way of speaking, you have a kind of a Divya Drishti. A kind of, it is not a Divya Drishti of Krishna type, of Arjuna type, but it is a different thing. A sight opened upon the invisible, and inverse with that thing, with that sight, I can see what is happening in your mind. Whether you are thinking good about me or bad about me, I can see. A sight opened upon the invisible and sent the shapes that mortal eyes see not. The sound. So first is sight, then sound. This one is there. All the panchendriyas, all the five senses. This is one ear. This is second thing. That mortal listening cannot hear, so our ear is deaf to them. The blissful sweetness, tongue, taste, or the intangible touch. The objects that to us are empty air, that is perfume, fragrance, smell. So all the five senses are now opening to their new significance. Sight, sound, touch, smell, and they are the stuff of daily experience, and a common pabulum of sense and thought. Pabulum, food. So they have become now the food for all our common usual things we see. So basically what has happened now is, thoughts have opened out, senses have become different. The important thing is, first he has described thought, then here in this sentence, sense. So this is what is happening as a result of the thoughts coming out from the subtle body. Subtle senses, the senses are first formed in the subtle body. Our ear is first formed in the subliminal inside, then the physical ear. It is that ear which hears the ear. The ear behind the ear, the eyes behind the eyes. And a common pabulum of sense and thought, the beings of the subtle realm appeared. That is because a new sight has opened. The beings of subtle realms appeared, and scenes concealed behind our earthly scene. She saw the life of remote continent, so she has got now far vision. It's not only Divya Drishti, but Dura Drishti, distant vision, television. She saw the life of remote continent. So it's not. So what is happening in Australia? What is happening in South Africa? She can see immediately. You see what is happening in my mind, in your mind, everywhere. She knows everything now. Yeah. Beings of the subtle realms appear, and scenes conceived behind our earthly scene. She saw the life of remote continent, and far and distance deafened not to voices far. She saw the distance which deafens not to voices far, to the far voices. Now, in the revised edition, it is deafened, and distance deafened not to voices far. She felt the moments crossing unknown minds. So, what is happening in her mind, she is feeling now. She is seeing all that thing. The past events occurred before her eyes. So, the entire cosmic past is seen now, is visible to her, open. So, it is not limited by space, it is not limited by time. She sees far continents, she sees the past. She sees everything.
Future also?
Which one?
The future.
Future.
Yeah.
Now she can see
It's not
what
written.
is far and,
Yes. Far
and
everything.
past. Future she can see
Yes.
also.
She sees, she has the vision of macroscopic things, she has got the vision of telescopic things. She has got the vision of when the Big Bang took place, she has got the vision of what is going to happen tomorrow. In time, in space. Yeah. Trikala Drishti. Yeah. Yeah. She felt the moments crossing unknown minds. So she may be sitting in the Himalayas. Savitri is meditating in the Himalayas. But she knows now what is happening in the mind of Obama.
And all this is described in detail in the record of Yoga.
In the record, in the,
All this,
yeah, of course, it's all in the record of Yoga.
he saw the future life.
It's amazing, and it's about poetry and what.
The future lives of the disciples.
He saw the past life and the future life also.
Of the disciples.
Yeah, so incredible. The past of the earth.
See, when it says past events means it does not necessarily mean what happened in the First World War, what happened in the Second World War. This is not really past. Not at all past. Not even what happened in the siege of Troy. Not even what happened at the time of Christ. Not even that. Behind yoga. In the Satya Yuga, what happened? Behind the earlier paths of evolution, what happened? When the Pisachas were there, when the Rakshasas were there, what happened? All that thing, she is seeing everything now. That event is not in the sense of our historical event. It means the entire cosmic evolution in the process of time.
He said it is not at all what we believe.
Yes.
What the
Yeah, it's
scientists,
very different.
what the
The
scientists
geological formation of
Very
the earth
different.
is very different.
Means that Savitri is sitting here now, she knows what was happening in the mind of Krishna, what was happening in the mind of Rama. Our Buddha, you see. Huh?
Sri Aurobindo said at one point in the future there will be no more tigers in India. No more tigers.
No more tigers in
So?
India.
She says, he said that there will be no more tiger.
In the future.
Yeah, of course, in the future. Then what happens to poor Durga, her lion?
I don't know.
What happens to Durga's lion?
I was very sad.
You see? Well, therefore, all our. No, I have not read that. You got that reference? Well, if he has said that there will be no more tiger, it would mean that all our effort of conservation of is futile.
I think there will be so many people and so much
Yeah.
down everything in the forest. And I think we can
Yeah. Well,
Like in Noah Bear.
Or maybe
no, yeah, well,
Even
see,
time.
of course, one can say in a way also, perhaps in the evolutionary cycle they have served their purpose and therefore they are no more needed. In the evolutionary cycle they have served their purpose and they are no more needed. You see, for instance, dinosaurs, they have disappeared. No, what I'm saying, they were there, but they had disappeared. The necessity of their being there was an evolutionary necessity. That purpose is served, finished. Proceed further.
But maybe this tiger will be another species more beautiful and nicely than the tiger.
You can hope that's one.
Like he is more beautiful than the dinosaur, and maybe it will be another one.
You see, we can justify by saying, see, all right, and, why should tiger exist? If it is not going to make progress, it is not going to make progress. Progress in the sense of its quality, its spirit, its soul, or whatever it is. If it is not going to make, forget, get out, go away, disappear. But if it is going to make progress, it will remain. It has to remain. Perhaps the same thing will happen in the case of man. If he is not going to make any progress, you are not more required, go away. The unseen grew visible and audible. Now he is talking about sense and thought, no? Sense and thought. So sense, visible and audible. So we have got video, you see. Both thoughts leap down from a superconscious field like eagles swooping from a viewless peak. So from some high peak, the eagle is swooping down from the above, see, like an eagle. Thought leap down from a superconscious field like eagles swooping from a viewless peak. Thoughts gleamed up from the screened subliminal depths like golden fishes from a hidden sea. So they are glistening from here below, or they are leaping down like eagles. What poetry, you see, is absolutely.
This is no more thinking mind.
This is thought.
This is thought.
Yeah, this thought. Yeah, this thought.
Gnostic thought.
Yeah. Thoughts leap down from the superconscious, because he's describing where the birth of thought, no, he's talking. Thoughts leap down to the superconscious field. In fact, he is moving now towards the cosmic field. Subtle body, now thoughts come down from the cosmic field. Thoughts come down from the cosmic field, like eagles, they swoop down from above, or like golden fishes, they glisten from below. Thoughts leap down from the superconscious field, like eagles swooping from a viewless peak. Thoughts gleamed up from the screened subliminal depths, like golden fishes from a hidden sea. This world is a vast, unbroken totality, a deep solidarity joined the country powers. Why this suddenly? Because from above or from below, there is a continuity. Thoughts can come from below, thoughts can come from above also. Because this is a continuity throughout. God's summits look back on the mute abyss. So he is clarifying this one. Thoughts coming from above or thoughts coming from, glistening from below. He is clarifying. God's summits look back on the mute abyss. So man evolving to divinest heights, close still with the animal and the jinn. He is the middleman. The human godhead with stargazer eyes lives still in one house with the primal beast. The high beast, the low, all is a single plan. This is elaboration of the same line. The high meets the low, all is a single plan. So she behaves the many births of thought, if births can be of eternal ease. Yes, thoughts are eternal, can they be born? For the eternal powers are like himself, timeless in the timeless, in time ever born. When they step into the process of time, then there is the birth. When something which is eternal, which steps into time, is the birth. So she behaved in many births of thought. What is described? If births can be of what eternal is, they are eternal, they are there always. But when they step into time, into a process, then it is a birth. For the eternal powers are like himself, timeless in the timeless, in time is ever born. So as long as you are in time, there is the perpetual birth, continuing birth. This too she saw, that all in outer mind is made, not born. It's a manufacture, a product perishable, forged in the body's factory by earth's force. This too she saw, that all in outer mind is made, not born, a product perishable, forged in the body's factory by earth's force. This mind is a dynamic small machine, now is a dynamo, producing ceaselessly till it wears out. So it is this machine which will wear out, but the thought will not. Thought will not. Yeah. Producing ceaselessly till it wears out, with raw material drawn from the outside world, the pattern sketched out by an artist God. So he has made this artistic. Often our thoughts are finished cosmic wares. We give them shape, socialism, communism, capitalism. These are thoughts. We give them certain shapes. You see. Often our thoughts are finished cosmic ware, admitted by a silent office gate and passed to the subconscious gallery, then issued in time smart as private made. Yes, this is made in India, this is made in France, made in Germany. See? Then issued in time smart as private made. For now they bear the living person's stamp. They bear the living person's stamp. Marx gave the theory. Adam Smith gave the theory, will of nation. It is his, but actually it is not his. We have given him that name. We have given a name of Marx to his theory, communism. Will of nation. We have given a name. It is already there behind that, you see, somebody. For now they bear, we have given a name. Theory of relativity is there already, but we have given a name to it, Einstein. Now they bear the living person's stamp, a trick, a special hue, claimed them his own. So that is how Einstein claims that, well, this is my theory of relativity, but actually the theory of relativity already exists elsewhere. All else is nature's craft, and this too hers. Our tasks are given, we are but instruments. Nothing is all our own that we create. The power that acts in us is not our force. The genius too receives from some high found, concealed in supernal secrecy, the work that gives him an immortal name. Einstein thinks that he has given the theory of relativity, with that he got the immortal name, but actually it has come from somewhere else. It already exists. We can say that there was something in him which opened out to that. That is his credit. But that is not his possession, his property. Theory of relativity is not Einstein's property. Einstein lent himself to receive that.